Nah, I'm joking. If you feel uncomfortable, we can stop if you want.
So you bringing Uzi back left me single. You knew that when you did it. So what do you mean I didn't want it to happen? It happened. So now, this is happening.
She doesn't want that.
She doesn't want that.
But listen to your tattoo. Never let the hard times humble us.
It's the maturity in Whitney for me, the ability to use Tyreek's tattoos to sort of pacify him and make him understand how he's wrong for his behavior. And also, it's Ella unleashed her menace on society, and now she's in her feelings because he's decided to show out, and Ty is showing out. And I love Ty and Ella because they give you a whole series, a whole season in one episode. You get the beginning, the start, and the finish. So they started off by fighting, did sort of cool down, and then now they've made up until movie night anyway. One thinks. We'll see how that goes. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, Season 10, Episode 33. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, a comment, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. So the islanders wake up and they all go to the main bedroom where everybody's asleep. So the singles move to the main bedroom. Ella obviously slept outside and she joins the islanders in the main bedroom. And Ty is a menace. And sadly, Ella has set her menace loose on the villa, and the villa is not safe because he's laying there and then he looks at Uzi and he goes, "You're right, Uzi." And it's like, you know he's not all right. You know he's caught in between whatever's going on between you and Ella because he didn't have a plan B. So his fate is held in Ella's hands. And I wish Ty, well, do I wish he would be more understanding? Not really. I like him crazy as he is because I think Ella on her part really didn't have romantic. Whether Ella had feelings for Uzi outside, I think she might have initially, when she first saw him, had romantic feelings, but I don't think it was enough for her to bring him to the villa. I think Ella brought Uzi to the villa because this is someone she knows, and she knows that in Casa, you might not get enough airtime if you don't sort of connect with someone. And I think this is why she connected with Uzi and gave Uzi the opportunity to come to the villa, thinking that once they got to the villa, he would explore a connection with somebody else and allow himself some sort of publicity. That way, when he goes back, you know, it's easier for him to get jobs and stuff because he's been on Love Island. That's my impression. I don't think it was because she was romantically attracted to him or she felt some type of way. She might have had a crush on him, but I don't think it was enough for her to pursue anything serious once she met Ty. And so it's sad that Uzi didn't use that opportunity to sort of come into the villa and start talking to people like Katie who are single, people like Jess who are single, to see if he can pursue something. He's just sat there and waited for Ella, which doesn't make sense. There's no debriefing for some reason, but hey, it is what it is. And the islanders go out and they're having their morning coffees, and then Ty, all the girls are standing together and he walks across and he asks to speak to Katie. And I think Ella thought he was calling her and went, "No, Katie." And Ella still gives him a cup of coffee and it's like, why do that to yourself? You know, you're going through a lot. And then, so he then sits with Katie. Katie knows Ty is playing games. It's not anything new to her. She knows his ego is hurt by the fact that Ella brought someone, and so she knows he's trying to make Ella jealous because they actually have a conversation, and she says, "You know, I don't want you to use me as a toy because I also have feelings. Remember, you can't use me because you want to get back at Ella and then get back with Ella and leave me here and I'm heartbroken and you're moving on. That's not fair." And he said, "Well, you know, yeah, I understand what you say." One thing about Ty is you can't knock him. He's always honest with his game. He will never lie to anyone. He'll always tell you as is. And when you participate knowing where you stand. It's not like you're like, "Oh, he blindsided me." No, he will tell you as is. "This is my intention. Are you on board or not? If you're on board, let's go. If not, see ya." So Ty tries to get Katie to jump on his back. She refuses. He tries to rock, paper, scissors. She refuses. And then eventually the two of them go and sort of enter the pool with all the other islanders. And he still manages to get her on his back because they then do this race with the guys carrying the girls across the pool. And it's like, Ty is crazy. While Ella is having a chat with Uzi, she's venting, she's upset. This is winding her up because she doesn't want to see Ty with anybody else. And it's like, You know what he's doing. You just have to wait until he's ready to forgive you. I think that conversation, yes, she was right to tell Uzi that, I am more focused with Ty. I didn't realize that our connection was way stronger than you and I could ever be. So this is where I'm sort of leaning. And I wish she had sort of told him, you need to try and explore something with somebody else. Is there any girl you're interested in? Is there that way he could move on? Because otherwise, when the voting comes in, Uzi's on the next plane back to the UK. I think someone needs to hire an aeroplane and fly a banner across the villa saying, just leave this man. He does not want you. Because just then sits down with Sammy and tell Sammy that I'm 100% for you. Are you 100% for me? Or do you still want to explore things with Amber? And he says, well, it's only been a couple of days. It's only been a few days. You need to give us more time. You need to give me more time. And she's like, but if you're saying I'm your number one, why then do you still need to explore? And this is what I've been saying. Sammy is using Jess as his backup because he knows as long as Jess is in the villa, the islanders are going to keep him because they're going to say that he's her connection when he's really not interested in her. He's vocalized this countless times that Jess is not really it for him. So I don't get why she keeps going on this hamster wheel and sort of going back and forth with him. She needs to leave this man. And then Ty is a menace, and I love him. I don't even know. We've already reached a season finale, and we are now on a new season of the Ty and Ella show because Ty is sitting there. He's flirting with Katie, and Katie keeps telling him, Ty, I am the one who's going to face the backlash from the girls because the girl Ella's going to forgive you. You're going to move on. But the girls are going to say, I was sort of in part of whatever you were doing. And Ty's well, no, they won't. You won't face any backlash. You'll be fine. He's playing with her hair. Knowing that Ella's watching, he's caressing her. And it's like, Ty, don't. Ella decides to confront him. And it's like, Ty taught a masterclass to all the islanders to how to behave when your partner cheats on you. And it was amazing. I don't approve of this type of behavior, but I love it for myself because, oh my God, it makes me happy. Because Ty then tell Ella's like, why are you sort of doing this? Is this a thing? Are you now interested in exploring things with Katie? And Katie's like, no, he's not. He's just using me to sort of get back at you. And Ella's, oh, well, why are you encouraging him to do that? I said, I'm not encouraging him. I've just been telling him that don't use me as a pawn in your game against Ella. So he does know. Everyone, Mitch is making facial expressions and he can't. He wants the ground to open up and swallow him because I think he's so embarrassed by everything, but he's also enjoying the drama. And everyone is sitting across the villa and they can see it. It's in, they can hear everything that's been said. And Ty goes, well, you brought Uzi back from Casa. Now I'm single, so I'm allowed to do whatever I want. So leave me alone. And it's like, Ty, you don't really need to do this. You don't have to be this petty. And I love it. The way he was screaming. And Uzi was there. And Uzi was just thinking, why did I come back? Why did I come to this, But this is good for Uzi because even though he himself is a very quiet person, the fact that he was involved in this love triangle, he's going to be doing interviews and they're going to be asking him, which is going to put his name out there, which I think is what Ella wanted for him. So I'm happy for that. Whitney and Catherine then decide to call Ty to have a conversation with him. And it's like, it's a bit rich for Catherine to sit there and talk about being disrespectful, given how she's behaved towards Scott. Whether or not Scott did anything to deserve it does not warrant her behavior in the way she's spoken to him. So for her to suddenly preach at Ty doesn't make sense. I like the fact that Whitney used Ty's tattoo to sort of try and sort of reach home, and he sort of seemed to understand what they were saying. I think because he has a lot of respect for the girls, this is why he listened to them. And then off he went to try and sort of make amends with Ella. But oh my God, I love Ty. Ty is a menace, and I love him for that. I'm sorry, but this season should be Ty and Ella present Love Island season 10 because it's all about Ty and Ella. So after speaking to Whitney and Catherine, Ty pulls Ella for a chat. He speaks to her. He tells her he is right to say you shouldn't have come and sort of shouted at me. You should have pulled me aside and had a conversation with me instead of us having a back and forth shout across the villa. But then it wouldn't have been as dramatic. We like the dramatic, so hey. And Ella sort of saying, I want you to stop what you're doing. What's the way forward? We need to find a way forward because you're saying you're still interested in me. I'm it for you. I'm interested in you. You're it for me. So let's find a way forward. And Ty is sort of dancing about. I think Ty wants his pound of flesh. Ty will not stop until Ella feels his pain and she feels his wrath because how dare she disrespect him and make him look like a mug. And one thing I like as well about Ty is he's always going to be honest. He's always going to be honest. You brought Uzi from Casa. You knew that would leave me single. What did you expect? I think she thought it would be a Dami and India situation whereby she brings someone, Ty has someone, and the two of them are in their couplings, and then they'll try and explore but come back together. I don't think she expected Ty to not even bother exploring anything with the girls from Casa more, and I think this is why she's surprised and she doesn't know what to do. And then you have the Jess and Sammy. I don't even know why we see that, because it's sort of like you have this entertainment and thrill ride with Ty and Ella, and then you come to the boring scenes of Jess and Sammy, and it's like, why? Because Sammy's speaking to Amber, and Amber's asking him, what's the way forward? Are you now pursuing things with Jess strictly, or are you still interested in getting to know me? And he says, no, I'm still interested in getting to know you, because we've had very little time, and it's like, and I still am interested in getting to know Jess, and it's like, you've been with Jess for at least 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, if not 4. What else do you need to get to know about her? By now, you should know whether you like her or not, and you should know whether she's your number one or she's not. If you're still unsure, then she's not it. He continues to keep her in his back pocket, I think, just for security in the villa. Jess is sort of moaning to Molly, and Ella sort of saying she's not happy with what Sammy is doing. She feels he needs to make a choice. And Molly says, well, from their conversation, it looks like Amber's smiling. So I assume he hasn't cut it off with Amber. And that's the truth, though. He hasn't cut it off with Amber. He's continued to pursue things with other girls. And then when he's realized that his fate in the villa depends on Jess, he comes back to Jess and will give her a sweet and then go back outside and play. And then when he thinks, oh, I'm in trouble, he'll come back and pacify her and go back out. He did the same thing with Leah. He did the same thing with Mal. And now he's doing the same thing with Amber. So Jess and Ella go into the bedroom and they're sort of having a conversation, and it's like, why do we keep going on this merry-go-round? There's no change. What does Jess see that we the viewers don't see? Why is she so convinced that this man loves her when we all are watching and we can see that this man doesn't love her? He's using her as a security blanket. She needs to move on. And kudos to Ella for telling her that you need to set boundaries with this. Otherwise, he's going to continue to run circles around you. So set boundaries, tell him what you want. If he's not it, then move on. There's so many guys in the villa that are going to most probably be single. Just needs to try and pursue things either with Ellum, because I don't think Scott is interested in her. So I think she needs to either try Uzi or she needs to try Ellum to see if someone is interested in her. Otherwise, she's wasting her time continuing to go on this merry-go-round with Sammy. That's just my opinion. So the islanders get ready for the night, and then Ty goes and sits down with Zach and Montel, and it's like, why? Those are the two candidates that are least likely to give him the best advice. I would rather he had sat down with Mitch. Mitch is way better, but I think he should have taken someone with common sense. Someone like Scott would have been a better sort of advisor than the two notorious bandits he sat down with. So he's decided to make amends with Ella and sort of build on their relationship. He does pull Ella for a chat and they have a conversation. I think they have developed feelings, and I think Ty, as Ella noted, has grown and he has matured when it comes to relationships, because he has had no escape, whereas before, I think in the real world, when a relationship got out of hand, he would just escape and just move on to the next one. But in the villa, he has no choice but to face the challenges and sort of tackle them as they come to him. So I'm happy they're in a good place until movie night. I can't wait. I have to get some popcorn for that. And then Catherine and Scott. I am really disappointed in Catherine, really. Irregardless of how much Scott hurt her, I know her. When she came in, she looked terrified when she saw Scott standing on his own when she came in or at the recoupling. And then because Scott sort of made the comment that he made out of anger, she's now hung this over his head and won't let go. And the fact that he was trying to apologize to her and she kept cutting him off and was sighing and stuff. Yes, you have moved on. Allow him to say what he wants to say and move on. And the two of you can go in peace. You don't need to be dismissive. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to be abrupt. None of that. You just need to sit there. Even if you don't want to hear what he's saying, just sit there, close your ears and pretend to be listening, nod your head, or say thank you. And then as once he finishes, say, I'm sorry too, but I don't live life with regrets. It was great knowing you. Scott had more feelings for Catherine. And Catherine, I think, has feelings for Scott. But the problem is Catherine is not willing to acknowledge or take responsibility for her actions. She is set on, oh, you did this to me. And this is why I think she has never been in a relationship, because of the fact that she struggles with taking accountability or responsibility for anything that she does. I don't get how she cannot sort of accept somebody apologizing to her and say, if I say no, I say no. Yes, you say no, but the thing is, say no and move in peace. How are you going to feel when you see everything that's happened behind your back and see what this man has been through to get you to where you are? I don't get it. I can't wait for movie night. I hope they play the clip of her saying Scott went to war for her, and I hope they show Scott how she was behaving, how Scott was behaving, and he refused. Because according to Catherine, Scott didn't have a connection. This is why he was waiting for Catherine. I said this yesterday, I'll say this again. Scott had Gabby. He debated kissing Gabby, but then stopped because he said, no, I don't want to do anything that will hurt Catherine. And only for Catherine to do the exact opposite doesn't make sense to me. And for her to be so dismissive, well, once I say it's over, so that's it. Anyway, thank you. And she refused to even hug him. And it's like, what has he done that we've not been shown? I can't wait for her to do interviews and tell us exactly what he did that upset her so much, because I don't get it. I don't know why nobody has ever told Jess that don't let a man show you more than twice or say more than twice that he doesn't like you. Sammy said when they initially fought that she wasn't his type, she was punching, and that he was just making do because she wasn't really his type. And then he decided to pursue Leah, and she stood by the sidelines. He decided to pursue Miles, she stood by the sidelines, and now he's with Amber. And so for her to think that this man is going to change in any way doesn't make any sense to me. He is doing what's in his best interest. He is doing what will keep him in the villa the longest. He's totally different from some people who have developed feelings. I think he's just doing it just for the sake of doing it. And so the idea that he would sit there and sort of have a conversation with her and sort of be telling her to calm down and don't be stupid doesn't make sense to me. If you love someone, you don't do that. You don't cause them a lot of pain. So he just sort of gives him an ultimatum: either choose me. After she's spoken to the girls, she goes to him: either you choose me or I am moving on. And it's like, you should have moved on a while ago, my dear. There's no need for you to still be around this man. This man does not love you. This man is using you. So she gives him an ultimatum. He then speaks to Ty. Ty then encourages him that you need to dead things with Amber, because if you keep saying Jess is your number one, why then are you still pursuing things with Amber? And for me, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why the guys are encouraging him to pursue Jess. I know they like Jess. I know they want Jess to stay in the villa, but I think Jess and Sammy are not it, and it's going to hurt someone long term, and chances are it's Jess, and I can't wait for movie night. Or maybe the producers have done it that way. That way Jess has some sort of security before they go into movie night, and then they'll pull the rug underneath from her when she finds out all the things Sammy was saying. I can't wait for that. And then so he decides to break off things with Amber, and it's like, well, Amber has been saying that Sammy is her only pick, so I don't know what she's going to do now that Sammy has decided to go back to Jess. Because I think Amber should have had a plan B. She shouldn't have put all her eggs in Sammy's basket, and I also don't think it was fair for them to leave her in the villa because she looked like she was about to cry. I think a 19-year-old is too young for this cutthroat show. I think they should have kept Gabby. Everybody knows I love Gabby. I think they should have kept Gabby in the villa because Gabby would have made moves and it would have been more interesting. I think Gabby, they were worried that she might overshadow someone like Molly, who everybody in the villa has overshadowed because we've barely seen anything of her, and neither have we seen her conversations with Zach. The only time we saw Zach actually was when he was talking to Ty about Ty sort of making amends with Ella. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But I really feel for Amber, because not only once but twice has this man hurt her. He kissed and then kissed Gabby, and then she was crying and told her no, she wasn't it for him. Then he went back to her. I think the producers asked him to keep her on the show, so that's how they got her to stay on the show. And maybe she didn't leave that much of an impression, so the producers want her out, and this is why they've got Sammy to go back to Jess. That's the only thing I can think of, because I don't know why else they would have kept her in the villa. But anyway, I digress. And then, so Uzi and Katie sit down for a chat. I think they make a cute couple. The only thing is, I think Uzi is very reserved, and so it would take a lot of work from Katie to sort of bring him out of his shell. But I think she would be good for him. I think she'll be good for him because it seems she's able to sort of, she's very bubbly and very lively. So I think that will be good for her. They are both the same age, so I understand why they really feel so mature in their conversations. So I hope they can make something work. But do I think they have an opportunity to stay in the villa for long? No, I don't think so. And somebody needs to do something about that bobby pin dreadlocks. It's becoming a bit too old. But anyway, I digress. The islanders then receive a text message to say the hideaway is open, who do they want to volunteer? And they volunteer Zach and Molly. And that's the only time we've seen Zach and Molly. And it's like, why? So Molly came back to experience Casa more and to go to the hideaway. Can she go back home after that, please? Can she go home? We don't need her anymore. We've had enough. And she's excited to go to the hideaway. Sammy, on his part, pulls Jess to tell her that he's decided to stick with Jess. And it's like, why? It's only until movie night when they explode again, or until another bombshell comes in. Why are they wasting our time? Sammy needs to go home. He's very disrespectful, in my opinion. He has been to the girls and he's been to Jess several times. Every time he's decided to explore with somebody else. I know he's still open, but the way he's moved is really mad. Molly gets ready to go to the hideaway, and she's ecstatic. Zachariah, not so much. I don't really see the joy in Zachariah. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just a very reserved guy. And so they go off to the hideaway. And then Scott is a shadow of himself. I don't know what happened between him and Catherine. I really wish I knew exactly what happened between him and Catherine, because he's now sort of very withdrawn. He doesn't seem like he's interested in pursuing anything with anybody else. I think because he doesn't understand how they went from where they were peaceful and seemed to be growing their connection, suddenly her saying, I don't want anything to do with you, and disrespecting him. So I think that's where he's sort of struggling to sort of understand what's going on. The islanders go and get ready for bed, and it was nice to see them all in a happy place, very cheerful, dancing and stuff. And so I don't know how that will play out. I really don't know how that will play out. One would have thought, since Sammy decided that Jess was it for him and Jess would have gone and slept outside on the day beds to show that they're really connected. I think Sammy and Jess are just playing a game. I think they're just playing a game, and they know that the only way they can continue to be on screen is continue on this merry-go-round, and they're using other people in their little game, which I don't get. But hey, it is what it is. And Zachariah says, oh, I know this is a competition, but I've already won. And it's like, what have you won? You and Molly are the blandest couple ever. So what exactly have you won? Are we missing something? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, it was a great episode. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I can't wait for movie night on Sunday. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone.